If you never had to work another day in your life to make money, but you had to do something in the service of others or humanity, what would that look like? You can't sip margaritas on the beach all day. You have to do something. You have to do physically, mentally, emotionally, cognitively do something. But I also understand that's like a pie in the sky question that can be really hard to answer.
Suppose that while you're sleeping tonight, a miracle happens. The problems you've been facing are suddenly resolved. But because you were asleep, you don't know this has happened. When you wake up tomorrow, what would be the first sign that tells you something is different? What else would you notice?
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 2004. So I was very used to saying, it's like my birthday. That's why I don't know when my birthday is until I've had how old I am until I've been that age for 6 months. You need a certain amount of time. Okay?
It's like that with your identity as well.
It's like that with pretty much everything.
You have to podcast for 6 months before you call yourself a podcaster.
Pretty much.
For me, it's 6 minutes.
For me, it was longer. It was probably like 6 years. Okay. Last episode, we talked about the truth about being all in. I'm Jeff today. When is it time to quit a dream? Is today's. Somebody reached out to me in WhatsApp and they said, "Hey, question for you." And this always scares me when people ask me this, because it's like, are you going to quit your dream? Somebody reached out and said, "Hey, when do you quit the dream?" In this case, it was podcasting. When do you do that? And I said, "Dude, I don't know if I have a really good answer. I think if you've lost the love for it and it's no longer serving the purpose that it once did, that's a sign. / even if you did achieve the specific level of success that you think you once wanted, it still wouldn't be fulfilling. Outside of that, I think it kind of ebbs and flows, where if you feel like you're losing, but you can imagine to yourself, like, there's nothing I'd rather be doing, then I probably wouldn't call it quits. If you really feel like you would regret, here's the fork in the road. If you can sit down with yourself and have an honest conversation and you think you would regret continuing, that's a potential red flag. If you sit down and you think you would regret quitting, that's another red flag.
Regret.
I got a lot of regrets. So yeah, that's my thought. But I am curious to your take, because you should have never quit tattooed on your arm versus me. Now, you don't have any tattoos because you're soft, but if you were going to get one, that could be something. But I know you're of the belief of, if you find your purpose, if you find your mission, and it's serving you, I mean, what else is there to do? Like, that's the thing.
Well, this is the difference between a purpose and a vehicle that helps you reach that purpose. So passion, purpose, profit. Kevin came up with the 3 Ps way back, several years back.
I came up with that?
Oh, yeah.
I am so wise, aren't I?
Yeah. Remember, there was a picture of a guy in a pool.
Oh, yeah.
You got to figure out how to stay in the pool.
You know exactly. The pool, yeah.
Yep. So passion, purpose, profit. Your passion is something that you really, really, really like, really enjoy. Could be soccer, basketball, podcasting, whatever it is, self-improvement. Well, we'll use us as an example, but I want you thinking of you, listener or viewer. So for Kevin and I, we are both passionate about working on ourselves. Okay, self-improvement, holistic self-improvement. That's where this all started. Hyperconscious podcast. Change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you live. Boom. Okay, that's the passion. The purpose is to help other people improve themselves and their lives. The profit is, I'm a business coach, Kevin's a podcast coach, we have a podcast production company, I do business coaching. Awesome. But the purpose, the vehicle is the podcast. So even if you and I were to quit the podcast, we're not going to, but even if we were, we wouldn't be quitting our passion and our purpose and our profit. We'd be quitting the vehicle to do that. So the podcast is the vehicle to help other people improve themselves and improve their lives. And on the podcast, you and I also improve ourselves and improve our lives. And then we use that brand, Next Level University, Next Level U, pun intended, to turn a profit. And then we reinvest a percentage of that profit back into the passion and the purpose, and it goes round and round. And so when you say, when do you quit a dream, is that person actually quitting their dream, or are they just quitting the vehicle to achieve it? Because I was a mindset coach, and I was a peak performance coach, and I was a life coach, and I was a business consultant, and I was a fitness coach early on. I went out of the wrong order there, but now I'm a business coach. So the vehicles have changed. The purpose of helping other people improve themselves and improve their lives has never changed.
Well, I think it's hard if you don't necessarily know yet what the difference is. Because the thing is, sometimes if you quit the vehicle, you might, I don't know, do you quit the purpose without knowing? I can't imagine doing anything other than this. But like if I was to leave this and go get a 9 to 5, would I have the wherewithal to think to myself, well, I want to make sure it's in this direct service of others? So like that's going to filter out a certain level of, like a certain number of jobs that I just wouldn't be fulfilled doing.
Right.
You know? But I don't know. I mean, how long did it take me before I was actually conscious of that?
That'd be a question for you.
Probably years. Because in the beginning, if I was going to quit, it was because I was broke. Not because I didn't start this to make money, but I literally couldn't pay my bills. It was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
My mom saw that post. We did a 2000 episode post, and she's like, if you can't pay your bills, like you got to reach out to me and I'll help you. I was like, Mom, this is like 2019. This is a minute ago. We're good. Everything's good now. But I said, nice. I appreciate that very much. That was the thing. That was the resistance. So I think that's also an important piece of the conversation. How far into the journey are you? If you're 1 year in and it sucks, that might just be a byproduct of time. If you're 2 years in and it still sucks, maybe worse, it's not necessarily a suggestion that you're not doing the right thing. Maybe it's a suggestion that you're not doing the right thing in the right way, or there's certain things that you don't know yet. I think this is why it's so hard to figure out when you're supposed to call something quits, because you can convince yourself that, well, there's still value. There's still lessons for me to learn. There's always going to be lessons for you to learn in anything. And you could go crack your head against the wall a few times. Like there's lessons in that too. Don't do it. Right? That's probably the most important lesson.
This is the hardest thing, because a purpose so a passion is something you are into. A purpose is helping others with that. A profit is the vehicle for which you can generate revenue. Those are three different things, but they're all connected. This is a podcast. This is a self-improvement podcast. But podcasting is not your purpose. Podcasting is the vehicle for your purpose. Your purpose is being the person you needed at your darkest moment. And the person you needed was someone who had systems and habits and worked on themselves and read books and all that stuff. So it's very difficult to tell someone when they should or shouldn't quit a dream, because do you consider us stopping this podcast quitting the dream? I wouldn't. We're still climbing a mountain. We just aren't doing that with the same vehicle.
I would consider it quitting.
Well,
the dream.
we connect the dream to the podcast so deeply. But before you and I started the podcast 8 years ago, I had Conversations Change Lives, and before that, I was speaking at high schools and colleges about what they'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. That was my first tagline. What you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. I wanted to bring personal development to the school system and to the masses. That's still what we're doing. We're just doing it from a different vehicle and in a very different way.
But you're still speaking.
Exactly.
So if it was, how would you feel if it wasn't that?
If I wasn't speaking?
Yeah, imagine you stop this and you just start writing books.
Well, we're going to write books.
But I'm never going to stop this. You
Agreed.
Stop this.
Agreed.
Cease podcasting. Commence book writing.
I would be less fulfilled, but I would still be fulfilled because I'd still be in my purpose, just not as fulfilled. I would think that would be dumb at this stage. Yeah. How do I explain this? This is good. I was on with a new client earlier. Shout out to you. You know who you are. She has been in HR for 20 years. And we just did her metrics and habits. And we did her dream statement. And we did her top 3 priorities. And her focus right now is two different vehicles. So she's building her own HR consulting firm in tandem with getting a new HR job. Both of those are in her purpose of service, but she wants to eventually get rid of the HR full-time job and build her own family business with her husband in HR consulting. All of that is totally doable. She's in a pretty good spot. I'm excited. How will she know when it's time to quit, quote unquote, the full-time HR job? As soon as the other one pays the bills enough to where she can do that. You and I did it really weird. That's why it's hard for us, because we went all in and then we went into debt. And you and I didn't have, well, we were both in corporate. We both made more than 6 figures, and we both had a nest egg. Mine was larger than yours, but we both had nest eggs.
I had a baby nest egg.
Yeah, small nest egg. Financial nest egg. We didn't have any babies.
No.
The expenses we had were also very low. That's a superpower in the beginning of a business. So how do you know when it's time to quit a dream? When it's no longer worth it. There's a question that I ChatGPT'd earlier. Have you ever heard of the magic question that therapists ask?
No.
I think you'll recognize it. Magic question in therapy. Okay. It's the book Reset. That's where I got this. Okay. Suppose that while you're sleeping tonight, a miracle happens. The problems you've been facing are suddenly resolved. But because you were asleep, you don't know this has happened. When you wake up tomorrow, what would be the first sign that tells you something is different? What else would you notice?
Oh, that's Jeff.
Right. So what this does is it gets you to realize, okay, what would be different? So everyone think of their biggest problem. Okay. Money, whatever. Relationship, health, fitness, you name it. Okay. You wake up tomorrow, that's solved. How would you know? And this question therapists use because it helps you visually realize the things that actually need to change. So for you, what's an example of a problem you're having? Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
I'll
tie this back.
10 pounds less than I do.
Okay. All right. You wake up tomorrow. And that happened, but you don't know it happened. All right. What's the first thing you notice? What's the first thing you notice?
I weigh myself first thing in the morning, so I would know immediately.
Okay. What would you notice if you didn't weigh yourself? That's a measurement. You'd look in the mirror and you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm jacked. Whoa.
Nice. Okay. What else would be different?
That would be about it. I'd look better. I'd look better at the gym.
Okay. What else? There's more stuff.
I'd be more confident at the gym.
Yeah. Where else would you be more confident?
In life. I'd be everywhere.
Okay. So back to the last episode, we did the goal of the goal. What Kevin really wants is to be more confident.
Last one was truth of being all in.
That's my bad.
It's okay.
2 episodes ago, the goal of the goal. So you would be much more confident, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Now what we do is ask ourselves, okay, identify small, realistic, actionable steps that would help you move toward that. So how else could you be more confident?
Get jacked.
Nice.
Imagine trying to be my therapist. Get jacked. I can't imagine anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Set and keep small promises to myself.
Nice.
Set boundaries.
Nice.
A lot of ways, for sure.
All right, so to bring this back, I'll never forget when I was in corporate, when I met my boss's boss's boss. And I was like, don't want that job. And then I went into my mind and I said, I'm in trouble. I don't want to be at the top of the mountain I'm currently climbing. What does that mean? That means I got to change. I got to change trajectory. If you don't want to get to the top of the mountain that you're climbing, you're on the wrong mountain. If you do, so for example, that question, You wake up tomorrow 10 pounds lighter. Are you pumped?
Mm-hmm.
So then you do want to get to the top of that mountain,
Of course.
quote unquote. That's why that question is powerful. And I'll put the question in the show notes, by the way, for everybody. This is a famous therapy question. Suppose that while you're sleeping tonight, a miracle happens. The problems you've been facing are suddenly resolved, but because you were asleep, you don't know this has happened. When you wake up tomorrow, what would be the first sign that tells you something's different? What else would you notice? And this will get you realizing, okay, interesting. That's what I'm really after. That's what I'm really after. That's what I'm really after. And then you can go to work on it. So I'll put that in the show notes. I'll send it to the team after this. But if you ask yourself that question and then you realize I actually don't care that much about those things, then you probably should quit. Like, okay, let's imagine we're at 4,000 episodes. Let's imagine you're producing 150, 250 podcasts. Let's imagine you're doing everything you're doing right now, but an amplified version. Let's imagine you're jacked. Let's imagine you're 40 years old. Okay. What are the things that you want to be different when you're 40 than right now? And then is the vehicle you're currently on bringing that? But if you do that exercise, it's called projection. I had one of my other clients look up projection. Scientists call it the ability to project into the future. It's actually a skill that you have to develop, but neuroscientifically. But if you project into the future 5 years and you go, oh shit, I don't even know if I want, because there's a big difference between I'm quitting because it's too hard versus I'm quitting because I don't even want this.
I don't want to win
anymore. I don't even want to win at this. Yeah, that. I think that's it. Am I quitting because I'm afraid I'm going to lose, or am I quitting because I don't even want to win at this game? Because that means you're playing the wrong game in this metaphor.
Well, it goes back to, do you not want to step up to the plate?
Nice.
Or are you unsure you even want to swing? Is that it?
No.
I don't know if I'll ever get
Are you afraid to strike out?
Yeah.
Or are you unsure if you even want to hit a home run?
Well, I tried to hit a home run there, and I struck out, unfortunately.
For sure. Yeah.
This is a tough one. I don't know, because I don't think anything like this is really that straightforward, because you have to weigh your own stuff. You have to figure out what's important to you.
How do you know you're on the right path?
I can't imagine being on any other one. Now,
Nice.
You could say two things about that. You could say, well, maybe you haven't been on enough paths to know. Yeah, shit, you got me there. That's a good point. Or how many paths have you been on that have been different than the one you're on? I've had a lot of freaking jobs. Too many.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not a job. This is far different. So, yeah, no, I can't imagine it.
Last piece. This is something that's also very powerful to contemplate. Kev, let's say you win the lottery tomorrow.
Yeah.
You win $10 million.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, let's do $100 million.
Nice.
All right, $100 million. You win tomorrow.
Yeah.
$100 million.
Yeah.
What do you change? That question, you don't have to answer it. If you want to, you can. Get a new business partner. No, but seriously, if you would change that, that means you have the wrong business partner. That means you might want to quit, right? But if you wouldn't change that, that means that's in alignment. Because that means you're there based on circumstance rather than desire.
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, then that means you're on the path.
That means more money in the bank. That would be, and I'd probably buy a car and a big house. I'd buy some shit, but
yeah,
other than that,
definitely get a house, that kind of thing. But that's a good question to ask, because those are your true desires. But if your answer was, oh my God, I'd quit my job,
I'd change everything.
I'd leave my relationship, I'd get a, whatever. That means I couldn't come up with a third one. That means that you obviously are not fully aligned. It's out of necessity rather than out of choice.
I might head on down to the whatever store, see what they have, see what's new. And if they have whatever I'm looking for, I might snag it, pick it up, bring it home, purchase it.
Was that a joke?
Yeah, you said whatever. You could get whatever. I said, yeah, I'm going to head on down to the whatever store. Yeah, it was a joke.
Oh, okay. So there is no whatever store.
I don't think so. Great idea, though. With my 100 mil, I could start a line of stores called the whatever store. And
you could. But isn't that fire? Because now that will tell you what you want to change.
One of the things
now Kevin can go get a house and a new car.
Yeah.
Not
lots
tomorrow, but...
Well, I could if I had $100 million.
My point is, though, is now you can work toward that.
Oh, yeah, no. Every day. Working towards it every day. I think that's one of those things that's really hard, because when I'm on other podcasts often, I'll say, again, I don't know how to help you find your purpose. Like, if I was that guy, if I was that, guru who lived on top of a mountain things might be different. I think I have some ideas on how to do it. One of my favorite questions is, if you never had to work another day in your life to make money, but you had to do something in the service of others or humanity, what would that look like? You can't sit margaritas on the beach all day. You have to do something. You have to like do physically, mentally, emotionally, cognitively do something. But I also understand that's like a pie in the sky question that can be really hard to answer. Okay. Cool. What's your next level lesson?
Next level lesson is fulfillment and regret. Try to go into the future and ask yourself if you actually are climbing the right mountain. And if not, maybe don't put as much time and effort into that, and put that time and effort into figuring out what mountain you do want to climb. All of us have to climb. We all need to pay bills. We all need to serve, to Kevin's point. We all have to work. And even if you don't have to work, you probably will choose to do something. A lot of the people that early mentors that are now retired as hell, very wealthy retired, they still work. They consult, whatever, because they're bored. There's more to life than margaritas and golf, right? So what would you do in the service of others? And ask yourself this question and see what comes up for you.
I don't think I've ever had a margarita in my entire life. Just FYI. I don't think I have.
Honestly, overrated.
I believe it. I don't like tequila. Next
Salt,
level.
not for me.
Yeah, no, understandable. Next level lesson for me would be, yeah, do some projecting, like Alan said. I think that's really the only way to reverse engineer regret, is to put yourself into the future with the current awareness you have to see if you regret it. You dig it? All right, cool.
Yes, sir.
As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay next level. Next Level Nation.